I stole a hamster when I was in third grade. You know whoever. Thank you everybody for tuning in to a dose of reality. My name is Blake Steele. I got my co-host here.
Kid ISO, what's up?
Thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing our page. And yeah, we're just gonna get started in here.
Hey, you guys. Hi, what's up? How y'all doing? How are you, buddy? You
I'm
good?
doing okay, man. I'm doing okay. What's been going on? How was your weekend?
Oh, it was, parties all weekend. No, it was cool. I chilled, kicked it with the dog, chill shit.
Normal
What
stuff.
about you?
Yeah, man. I went out to go see some family on the south side of Chicago, and
What's
then
up?
stayed over at a Best Western. And if you ever go stay over at that Best Western off 79th and Archer, then make sure that you're not on the 5th floor because there is no free Wi-Fi on the 5th floor.
You're on 79th and Archer. That is a funny street to be on. That's hilarious.
I know, bro. I probably shouldn't have been out there, but hey.
Look at Luciano from 79th. Nah, I feel it.
Shit. But yeah, man. A couple things I wanted to kind of get into today was
Okay.
what's going on with Ukraine, man. We'll touch upon that a little bit.
Wow.
It's just terrible, man.
Yeah, no, it's hearts, our prayers, and go out to everybody affected by that. It's
Absolutely.
very obviously countries do what they do, war, whatever, but it's just unfortunate because the people who actually pay the price are always the citizens of that place, the women, the children, the people who don't really have anything to do with it. So, and our prayers go out to them. So
Yeah, it's crazy, man, because I mean, a lot of new information is coming out about it now, and we're not going to dive into it too much, but as of yesterday, and obviously this will now be a week after this airs, but 2 million have fled from Ukraine already.
Wow.
As of yesterday, and it's nuts. They're only letting females and kids on the trains.
Mhm.
Everybody else has to stay back and fight.
yeah.
So it's rough, man. It's rough to hear about it. I got some family in Norway. I got some family in Poland. So it's
You were you able to get in contact with them, talk to them?
so I mean Norway's a little far out.
Right.
Poland, yeah, I got in contact with a couple of the people in Poland.
Okay.
But I mean it's just everybody's fleeing to Poland, and
Right.
it's just nuts, man. It's a lot of people say World War III's starting, and or if it's just going to be a Cold War, who knows? Like I said, we won't get into it too much, but definitely prayers.
Yeah,
Prayers
no,
going out to them.
no doubt about it. Also, Brittany Griner. So, Brittany Griner, for those who don't know, is a WNBA basically superstar. She's probably top, probably the best player in that league. And as of right now, she is still stuck in Russia, and she's actually in jail, facing drug smuggling charges. So apparently, she went into it's not TSA there, I don't think, but she went to the airport. They checked her bag. She had some cardies, some like weed carts on her, and so, I don't know. I don't know if that was I don't know if like they're gonna be able to get her back anytime soon. But I know it's like she's facing 10 years with this charge.
That's so crazy too, because I know for a fact that I mean she's been traveling to Russia multiple times.
Oh, for sure. I mean, this has been, I'm pretty sure, for the majority of her career as a professional, and I know she's been drafted for a while now. It may not be 10 years, but it's probably getting close.
So now it's safe to say that she's probably a POW at this point.
Probably. I mean, what I was reading on CNN, and they feel like that Putin might use her, and there's two other American civilians
Yeah,
who
I read
are
that too.
and I forgot their names, but there's two other American civilians who are actually being held in prison right now. So, from what I was reading, what they think might happen is that they might kind of come up with some trade. But the thing is, you kind of have to open up those lines of communication, and they don't know. So I guess Congress is starting to work on it. But she's been detained for a month, for sure.
And and then the same thing that I was reading as well, from the CNN report. So it's 3 weeks in,
Mm-hmm.
and there she has a Russian lawyer.
Right.
She's supposed to be in contact with the American embassy.
Right.
She has not had any contact with the American embassy. She has not been able to make any contact, from my understanding,
Mm-hmm.
with anybody in America,
I mean,
home, anything like that.
no.
So I mean, that's crazy, because even they were saying that, I mean, that's the procedure too,
Yeah.
especially if you're across country lines, that you're allowed to get in contact with the American embassy. So it's really a fishy situation for sure.
Yeah, and the sad thing about it is, from what they were actually interviewing somebody else who had already been detained over there before,
Okay.
and basically they were saying like you're put in like this isolation jail at the beginning usually, and the living isn't great, obviously. So it's kind of sad because she's actually like a star over there too. Like that's the crazy part. You would think maybe because she is such a basketball star over there, that like they wouldn't maybe come down so hard, or even just give her like that lesser charge, which would probably be just a possession charge, and then she'd get deported. But I mean, it's very lucrative for her. Excuse me. It's very lucrative for her to go over to Russia, because I know people are asking like, well, why is she playing over there? Because she's getting paid over $1 million
Yeah.
every season to play. And the WNBA, who she is probably the number one player in that league, she's getting $221,000 a year, a little bit over that. So it's almost 5 times the amount she's making over in Russia. And it's just kind of unfortunate, because it's just like these are the types of situations that like you can kind of find yourself in. And again, I'm not condoning it, traveling across, country lines, you should probably like keep the weed at home.
Not only that, but I mean, she's been there multiple times,
And
so
you've
she
been there.
knows what the policies are.
Right. So and again, so I was actually reading something too, that they were thinking that this is not uncommon, but that they might have actually like tried to pin something on her.
Yeah, that's a
And I was
possibility.
reading that there's that possibility. And again, I don't want to get too much into that sort of speculation, just because we don't know.
Yeah.
There's not really been a lot of contact with her, so we don't know her status. But it's just sad, because it makes you think like, what could the WNBA do really to keep their players to not want to go to another country, so that they could just, if they could pay them and figure out a way to really up the revenue where they could pay them better, then situations like this wouldn't happen. Especially like knowing the like, this is not a new thing. Like people knew over the last months, the government kind of knew, people knew that this was brewing, and that this would maybe go this way with Ukraine and Russia. Like that had been brewing for a while.
Right.
So she probably already had some sort of knowledge, especially playing in Russia. She probably had some sort of knowledge that this might be coming at a point. And she said, well, I need to make this money. It was enough for her. It was enough money for her to make that risk. Or it was a necessity for her to make that risk to do that, And it's just unfortunate that that the WNBA puts their players in that situation.
Yeah, and for a fact too, if this was LeBron James, he would have been home already.
1,000%.
Just-
And that's the sad part about it, because if it was a LeBron James, or Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, one of those big guys,
Would have been over.
they would have gotten them back home. The president would have taken precedent over that. Like the president would have been like, okay, this is our top priority. Bring whoever home. And the fact that like she was in there for 3 weeks.
Right.
Before anybody even before news were even really reporting that, speaks to just the
volumes behind it.
Yeah, it does.
It's crazy.
And it just brings another question. It's like, what are you really to do? Like, are you supposed to like pay people a lot better and maybe lose out on your revenue, and maybe they're paying the players that because that's what all they can afford. That's why the NBA WNBA is doing that, or like somehow we got to figure out how we can keep these athletes to be home. That
Yeah,
just has to be because that's ridiculous. There's no reason why you should have to go play for 5 different teams just to get a decent bag when you got LeBron and them and their best players signing crazy deals, getting $50 million a year.
Right.
Like
Absolutely.
that discrepancy, and like I'm not
But,
saying they should get that 50 million, but I'm just saying they should
Yeah.
get a lot better than what they're getting paid.
Yeah, no, they're definitely not getting-
Underpaid.
they're definitely underpaid, and then on the same token though too, it's not. I don't feel like the WNBA is as popular.
Absolutely
so-
not. That's why you wouldn't get as much, but I'm just saying like,
Right. No, I definitely
Russia's
understand.
able to pay their players over $1 million because that's what she's reportedly getting.
Right.
I don't know why we couldn't, figure something out, at least because obviously now it's not really safe to be, everywhere else, out of the country right now.
Right.
Like
No,
I don't know
absolutely.
if like real talk, truthfully, I think that it's not gonna be smooth. It's not a great time to be out of the country, even if you're not going nowhere near Europe. Just period. You just don't want something to happen and then you be gone. And they shut the borders or something like that, and you're screwed. You know
Right.
what I mean? So it's just we live in just different times, and you really just gotta again, like we were saying last week, really think for yourself, see for yourself, research for yourself, and do for yourself and figure this out because you can't believe social media, you can't believe YouTube, you can't believe none of these people. You gotta see what's going on for yourself, because nobody would have known this story was even a thing if people wouldn't have really dug about it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, we'd be interested to know your guys' thoughts on it. Please leave comments below about Brittany Griner and how you feel about the situation at hand, and if she should still still be out there. Another segue would be, this is kind of like a perfect thing for victim mentality because life is coming to a perception point, and life is all about perception.
Absolutely.
And how you're taking things, and if it's situational or if it's detrimental. And in this position, I feel like maybe you know what I mean, Brittany Griner could be taking a victim standpoint on this, and not in the sense of her being a victim. I mean, she is in this situation, but mentally,
Mm-hmm.
and how she's perceiving the situation, how she's utilizing the situation.
Oh, you're talking about Mandela?
Yeah.
Yeah,
for an
South
official-
Africa. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he sat in prison for 21 years.
Yeah.
And Tony Robinson had the pleasure to have an interview with him.
Right.
And was asking questions like, do you not want to kill everybody for being wrongfully convicted for 21 years and then finally
Right.
getting out? And he says, no, of course not. I spent 21 years planning my return, and if I ended up dying in prison, then that would spark for a revolution.
Yeah.
So I just want to kind of go into victim mentality a little bit. What's your take on victim mentality? Because it's universal.
Yeah. I mean, isn't that what most people want? Being a victim. Like, it's easy to be a victim. It's so easy to just say, woe is me, everything is against me, I can't do anything. That's easy. It's easy to give yourself that excuse. And that's what I feel like really what the victim mentality is. It's excuses. It's excuses. Because like, one, you can always find somebody that has it worse than you, number one.
Absolutely.
And two, really, a lot of the stuff we're so victimized by is 9 times out of 10 something that we created and we manifested into our lives because we spoke it into an existence, or just a test and an opportunity to learn from this lesson, from this L, and so that's kind of how I try to approach life. Like in the last year or so of my life is really just like, there's nobody to blame for my success or failures but myself. Like, regardless, things are going to be thrown at you. Life ain't easy. It ain't. But like, I can be successful if I want to, you know? Like if I decide to every day work at something, then I'm gonna be successful at that thing. But or I could just wake up every morning and just be like, "Oh, woe is me." You
Uh,
know, it's decide what you know, because it's gonna be hard regardless.
right.
Doing the right thing, going hard, and doing what you want, chasing your dreams, that's gonna be hard. And being a victim and being sad and depressed all the time, that's hard too. So which hard you want?
Yeah, definitely. I'm a firm believer in victim mentality and how it's completely negative, completely. For a majority of my life, I had a very big part of being a victim. I mean, as a teenager, I abused drugs and alcohol. That was the thing that I did. I was an over partier, so that probably didn't help to my attitude
Yeah.
towards life. You know, not didn't like going to school. Didn't like authority figures. Always played a part. My mom died when I was 18. So it's just that, I mean, all those life stressors can make someone feel a certain way. But one thing that I know in my heart is that I never told myself that I couldn't do something.
Mm-hmm.
Because as soon as you tell yourself that you can't do something, then you kind of set a mental barrier for yourself. And
Absolutely.
you'll never be able to achieve it. Because anything that you think about, and I say this all the time, how energy transfer, energy is your currency. I mean, you cannot live your life without energy. You use all your energy up on situations where you feel a state of depression. Then you're not going to be able to function in your everyday life. And it's just, it worries me because more and more people are adapting this ritual almost. It's a
Mm-hmm.
vicious cycle, and it's disgusting because I mean, not only do you have millions of people that are now what taking psych medications. Not saying that psych medication is wrong or that it's not useful, but I mean studies show that a lot of the people that take psych medications don't feel better.
Right.
So now we're really talking about a state of mind and where you are in your life. So it just it's just crazy to think, especially with everything going on, how everybody wants to self-absorb that like it's
Mm-hmm.
their issue and not go forth with communication because communication is key. It just it's definitely it's very sad to see that consistently.
Absolutely. And you know, I did. I had like similar struggles. I had a best friend of mine that we were cool throughout when I was in high school, and then throughout the beginning of college, and then she passed away. She committed suicide, um, and you know I was like at that point in my life, I was like, well, you know, everything's effed up. You know, I had a some other family like being sick, and it was just a lot going on at that point. And I was just like, well, you know, I'm a victim. I'm sad, so this is my excuse to get drunk every day. This is my excuse to, you know, party all the time. This is my excuse to not go to class, to not do what I'm supposed to be doing. And it wasn't. I just wanted to do those things.
Right, absolutely.
That's just what I wanted to do. I wanted to drink. I wanted to get fucked up. But I was using that. I was using that as an excuse. And once I got to using that as an excuse, it got to a point where like I was almost struggling like with the alcohol. Like I was really like I had to drink every day. I had to get drunk every day. And again, it was no reason for me to really act like that. Yeah, there was some hard things that were going on, but what I really could have done was if I was, you know, hurting, I could have went to go talk to someone, you know, and that's what I encourage people to do when like you feel like it's you are depressed, you are messed up.
Communicating.
Communicate. Go talk to someone. Go get some real help. Because you getting lit, you getting turned up, that's temporary. That drink, it's gonna feel good. It's gonna be great when you sipping, you turning up, you taking shots, you lit. That's only gonna last the night. When you popping whatever, that's only gonna last for however long that pill lasts.
No, I definitely understand.
Yeah.
I definitely understand.
So you just gotta really you really gotta value your energy. Like you said, you gotta value your energy, and that currency, you got that currency, the energy transfer, you gotta be, the boss of it. You gotta, hey, I'm transferring my energy for something positive, something important, and I am not going to allow anything to deter me from that. And once you get to that point,
Absolutely.
you golden. Like, I'm not saying life gonna be easy, but at least your outlook, the way you look at things, are different. A lot of, like you said, like you started this out with, perception is everything.
Perception is everything. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, I just really wanted to hit hard on that because it's a universal problem.
Mhm.
It's a universal problem that people are waking up every morning and not understanding that every issue starts with you.
Mhm.
And not literally, but seriously. And if more people would just wake up and see what's going on and start really working on themselves and realizing that they can't help anybody else until they help themselves,
Mhm.
then I feel like that we would all come together and we'd all be able to communicate better.
Absolutely.
Because what we're doing right now is clearly not fucking working.
Yeah, and it's like, and the one thing too that like adds to this is just, that's why I feel like sometimes like you gotta just take that break from social media. You gotta take that break
Absolutely.
from the phone.
Absolutely.
Because you see all these people and they're just living the best life ever. They're
It's
going
fake.
on trips
It's
and they're
fake.
doing this, but that's not their real
It's
life.
fake.
It's fake. We all put our best foot forward on social media. We only look
That fake
fresh on
persona.
social media.
Absolutely.
We only try to do this and that on social media. But that's not real life. Real life is waking up every morning and having a routine, having something to look forward to, having a hobby, something that makes you happy, that you want to share with the world, Like, this social media bullshit, it don't really matter at the end of the day, because all these people you trying to impress, they're posting those pictures and those videos and all that to impress you.
Just to get your reaction, exactly.
They're
just to
just
get
trying to
that
impress
same
you.
exact reaction.
The same
Exactly.
thing you're looking for is what they're looking for. Validation. But you shouldn't be looking for validation in none of this superficial stuff. You should be looking for validation in yourself. Because that's really, you're never going to feel real validation from nobody else. Nobody else, no matter how many great friends you have and how many great husbands and wives, whatever, no matter how many great people that you encounter in your life, they will not give you true validation. Because true validation is going to come from within you. And yeah, they can compliment you and say whatever. But to be truly validated, to truly be ready to just move and do whatever you need to do and move in yourself, you got to get that from inside. You got to teach yourself to be validated. Teach yourself to have that confidence in yourself. It's not, you don't want to be cocky, but you have to really teach yourself to be confident in yourself and your abilities. It don't just, it don't just happen. You got to really believe that. And then once you do, you start moving into, different places. Then you realize, man, I could do this now. I don't have to wait. I want to start whatever. I want to start my own business. Okay, I could finesse. I know I could do this. Time is the only thing that holds you back. And the longer you take to take that step, the longer you're just holding yourself back.
That's a great point. I also want to touch on the fact too is that we are in a time right now where vulnerability, especially in men,
Mm-hmm.
is accepted.
Absolutely.
When we were growing up, vulnerability in men was not accepted. For you
Nope.
to be vulnerable means you're weak.
Yeah.
And now, these privileges that these kids have, and actually being able to be vulnerable, being able to speak up, be who they want to be, essentially.
Yeah.
That is the first step into achieving your change of perception.
Yeah.
The first step is being vulnerable about the situation.
Absolutely.
Realizing what the problem is at hand and fixing it, and never saying you can't do anything. So I really wanted to touch on that too.
Yeah, no, I am, not the biggest religious person in the world, right?
Right, I get it.
But in the Bible, it says there's the most scriptures is about your tongue, your mouth, your speaking. That means that there's a lot of power in that. it's a lot of power in what you speak. So that's why you really do have to speak positivity into your existence. Speak everything that you want into existence. Speak about it, and then after you speak about it, do it. Go forward with it. Don't wait, because what are you waiting for? You know?
And nobody's saying, too, that you're going to wake up every morning and you're going to tell yourself 100 times that you're happy and you're going to be happy.
Absolutely
That's
not.
not true. But with repetition comes change.
Absolutely.
I mean, imagine, do you think Michael Jordan was a good basketball player at the start?
No.
How
Well,
often did he have to practice?
Every day. He went harder than everybody else. That's why he became who he became.
And we would just have to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm. In your everyday life. Be, like, if you really want something, be very...
Be the change you want to see.
Exactly.
Be the change
Took
you
the
want
words
to see.
out right out of my mouth.
That is what it is. You can't
Yeah.
expect everybody to respect you.
Nope.
You can't expect everybody to be better if you're not. I mean, it's common sense.
Mhm.
It's absolutely common sense. So, and I don't think anybody's better than anybody. But at the end of the day, like I just said, man, be the change that you want to see. And there's a lot going on in this world right now. So the last thing that we need to do is pick sides.
Absolutely.
We all need to come together, and we need to realize what we're fighting for.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I say, there's one race, the human race. Now, your ethnicity is different. That's your root. You embrace that. But as far as race, there is only one race. There's a human race. And if we think about it like that, how we are all connected, how we all are not, we're not divided. We want to be connected. We are, a group. And, we're trying to make this world a better place to live in every day. So try to do your part.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I definitely just wanted to drive that home. If anybody has any comments or thoughts on that, please don't be afraid to leave a comment and how you feel or the role you play maybe. And yeah, I mean, we'd be interested to read some of them and see how you guys are feeling about that topic.
Yeah,
for sure.
absolutely. Continue the conversation for sure. So shout out Northside Plugged.
Oh, absolutely.
Shout out Northside Plug. Shout out G Money. Shout out Boss Dan. Shout out Justino. And real quick, I have a quick Boss Dan story. This is super quick. But Boss Dan and myself and Mr. G Money, one Saturday morning, we said, hey, let's play some basketball. Like we've been all, up in the house. We want to play some basketball. So we go to the court, we're shooting around. There's this guy shooting there, bro. And this kid could shoot the shit out the ball, bro. He could shoot, bro. I'm talking about knocking down everything, right? So Boss Dan, for those who don't know, Boss Dan is a big dude. He's probably, I don't know how tall he is, but he's tall.
He looks like he's like 7 feet in the video. Bro.
He's super tall. He's strong. And I didn't know he was so skilled. So we shoot for teams. It's G Money and Boss Dan versus me and this guy. And I'm like, oh, we gonna win. So we win the first game. And I don't know what G Money said to Boss Dan, but he said something. And whatever he is, he said he turned into like Jordan Game 6 and just started destroying this dude, posting him up, layups, hitting this little jumper. He even was hitting some dimes. And this dude, like I said, we won the first game, and he was going crazy. He was half the reason why we won the first game. And dude did not really hit another shot after that, bro. Like
His
he was having
confidence
a
was
guard.
gone.
He was having a guard Dan, and Boss Dan is just killing this dude to the point it got so bad that this dude is taller than me. And I said, you know what? Let's switch. I'm going to guard Dan for some possessions because he is just killing your confidence. And we lost the next 2 games and it was over with. And I'm just like, damn. Like the whole ride, I'm like, damn, Dan, why was you doing that dude like that? And he's super humble. This dude, oh man, I'm just, I try, I'm just, playing, how and it's like, no, he was killing him. Like, and he wasn't talking no trash. Whenever the guy would hit a shot or do something, he's like, oh, good shot, blah, blah, blah. But he's killing this dude, bro. It's the worst way to be killed. I would rather somebody talk they shit while they busting my ass, right? Than Dan just being all nice and saying you did good defense while he's busting your ass. It was no good defense. He's like, oh, good defense, bro. Good defense. He's killing this dude, bro, it wasn't close. It's one of my favorite Dan moments. Shout out Boss Dan,
Shout out
bro.
Boss Dan, bro. That's funny
That
as
shit
shit.
was funny as hell, bro.
That kind of brings me to a good point. What the fuck is going on, man, with all this cancel culture shit, Aaron?
I don't know, man.
I mean, a lot of people are ridiculing people in a situation like this. When we both talked about it, it should be a teaching moment.
Absolutely.
I mean, it started off with Morgan Wallen. I know you
Uh-huh.
don't know who that is.
Okay.
It's a country singer.
Okay.
He was small backstory. He was with his friend
Mhm.
off camera. His black friend
Mhm.
used the N word.
Okay.
Not okay,
Not okay.
but he still did it.
Okay.
Bro, he lost his music career. Pretty much stopped after that.
Right.
For the longest time, and then it's kind of funny how they reintroduced him again.
Mhm.
He came out in a music video. They completely they canceled him, bro. They ridiculed the shit out of them. Same thing with Joe Rogan.
Oh, they're trying to do that to Joe Rogan as well.
It's not gonna happen because how much did he just make off Spotify?
What they pay him like? Was it 100 million?
It was 100 mil, bro.
It was 100 million.
I'm pretty sure they just gave him 100 mil,
They
bro.
did give him 100 million.
But everybody was telling him like, dude, I don't know, man.
Here's my issue, right? So again, I'm black. I'm African American. And yo, if you're white, you probably shouldn't be on camera saying nigga. That's my advice to you. I'm not saying that like.
Yeah, but with this Morgan Wallen situation too, it wasn't like
No,
he was on
and I'm
camera saying that shit. He wasn't on camera. He did get caught on camera, but it was by like paparazzi.
It was by paparazzi.
Honestly,
yeah.
it probably shouldn't have even been said. But
Exactly.
I don't think that I personally don't think that he should have been canceled.
No,
in
he
that
shouldn't have
moment
been
for it.
canceled. At the same time, it's like what I would have done, right? Well, first, right? If I'm his black homie, you know what I tell him?
Whoa.
Because I'm not gonna lie. Like I've said this to a couple of my homies. Hey, buddy.
And not me, by the way. So
Not this
No,
guy.
not
But
me.
hey, buddy, like just because certain people don't mind you saying the N-word around them doesn't mean that goes for everybody. So, what I would suggest to you is probably, unless it's you and that person, just don't say it. Just stay away from that word. And I know it's like, why can't I say a word? Well, you can say it. You can go ahead and say it. Anybody can say it. It's just
Bless you.
the backlash of it is not worth it. And so again, but I really think that
that's one point for it, and
Right.
I completely understand that point. But when it comes down to a teaching moment,
yeah, that's what I was gonna get to.
Right,
Yep.
right.
I mean, you should at the same time be like, hey, let's use this as a teaching moment to be like, obviously don't say that, but like, why did you feel like? Well, first, I would want to know like, why did you feel like you could say that at that point, and maybe just because you felt comfortable, but at the same time, it's like, okay, now you know that you shouldn't say it, obviously, because people know that you shouldn't say that shit, but
Yeah.
at the same time, like, should he be canceled for that? No. Should people say, hey, bro, that wasn't cool? Yes. People should call him out and say that wasn't cool. And you know what? They should say, hey, I think that, you should be mindful of, what that word means. And say, hey, this is why I don't think it's good for you to say that. And also being like, I don't want to like cancel you, but I just want to say, hey, that's not cool. Please don't do that again. Now, if you're a repeat offender, then that's a different story. I
Right.
understand that. That's
Yeah.
a different story. Once you start, we know that you are really racist because truthfully, a lot of people say that word, and I know they're not racist. They don't have a racist bone in their body. I don't think Joe Rogan is racist whatsoever. And when I heard his explanation of why he was using those words,
Yeah, wasn't he reading
wasn't-
like rap lyrics?
I don't even think it was that. No, what it was these were conversations that they were having about that word with people. And I guess during these conversations, he would say the word instead of saying the N-word.
Got you.
And so again, was that smart? Probably not.
Yeah,
No,
probably
it
not.
probably was not what he should have done. But at the same time, are we going to kill this man for that? Like, we're going to cancel him? He's done. He's over with. Fuck Joe Rogan. Like, no, I don't think that's fair because at the same time, let's be honest, what has Joe Rogan also done? Provided a platform for pretty much anybody to come in and say whatever they feel, even if he doesn't agree with it. Because 9 times out of 10, well, no, I won't say 9 times out of 10, but a lot of times he doesn't agree with the person that he's interviewing, but he lets them come through and say whatever they have to say and whatever they feel. And yeah, he does ask them the hard questions, but at the same time, he allows them to a safe place to speak, however they feel like speaking. You know what I mean? And that's to be commended because not a lot of people are doing that.
Absolutely, man. And coming from my perspective, I think that there's just ignorance from both sides. In the sense, ignorance in if you're saying the word, because anybody that knows that word, I mean, at that point you're disrespecting African American ancestors. I mean,
Absolutely.
and you're I mean that's where it stems from.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And me personally, I mean, with you being my best friend, bro. I mean, I've even perfect example recently, man. I freaked the fuck out. I freaked out when somebody said that.
Yeah,
I freaked
absolutely.
out, man.
And I was like,
you
yo,
just don't say shit like
I
that.
told you, I was like, hey, buddy,
No, man.
it's cool. But again, and I
like
appreciated
said,
it. Though.
But it's ignorance from both sides because
Absolutely.
it's ignorant to say that this person is done. This person is not influential anymore. This person has no right to say this correct, but no right to say anything else because of it. That's ignorant
absolutely.
as shit. That's
Absolutely. I think that the cancel culture is really a detriment to our society because it literally says that because you're famous, because people know who you are, you have to be perfect. And that's not true. We all make mistakes. If every single time somebody came behind you and said, you're done because you made a mistake, because you made one mistake, then you wouldn't be able to do anything. Nobody would be able to do anything. Because we all make mistakes.
Strange though, bro, that we even have cancel culture in this day and age when, okay, I'm just going to say it. We have the LGBTQ community, okay? We have people that feel like they're non-binary, and I'm not going to get into this because
Bing bong.
it's none of my business, you know what I mean? But I mean, when it comes down to it, I'm saying that these people are allowed to feel the way that they want to feel and say what they want to say, you know what I mean? But it just, I mean, it comes down to the fact that don't laugh at me. I'm
not
serious,
laughing
man.
at you.
That's okay, but still we're living in a shame-based society.
Absolutely.
That's what it comes down to. So people are allowed to feel the way they want to feel. People are allowed to be the way that they want to be, whatever. But when it comes down to it, now it's don't look at me like that.
I'm looking
when it comes down to it, bro, we're still shaming people for making mistakes.
Absolutely, and that's wrong. And even though I'm laughing, I completely
Fucking asshole.
I completely agree with you.
I have no problem with anybody in the LGBT community. I want everybody to know that. I want everybody to know that. I made that as an example because that is the most prominent example that I could use right now.
Absolutely.
Because it's universal. There's a lot of people in that community, and there's a lot of people coming out now, and they're not being shamed for it.
Absolutely
They're
not.
being publicized for it.
Absolutely.
So we're going to shame people for what?
For making a mistake? No, you shouldn't. And I agree with you 1,000%. And I say that because, bro, like, do you know how many crazy things I've said, bro? Like, dude, do you know how many times ISO would have gotten canceled because if somebody had a camera? Bro, I've said some crazy shit. Trust me. That's pretty much, if you're my friend and you've ever been around me drunk, that's what you know me for. Because I say some crazy shit sometimes.
Yeah.
But again, I'm just because I'm not, Joe Rogan or Kanye West, I'm not killed for it. And that's unfair because truthfully, they're humans too. Like, I know we put them on a pedestal. I understand.
Everybody wants to set them to a higher standard.
Truthfully, why are you putting them on a pedestal? Think about this, right? Just because you could shoot a basketball, right? Or you could rap really well, or you could make some great beats, we put you on a pedestal. But let me be honest with you. The people I feel like, and this is just me, but the people you really should be looking up to, really, is like, the people you should really have super high standards for, and if they mess up, you should cancel them. Your politicians, police officers.
Yeah, I think it even goes further than that. The judges.
People who have power.
I knew a judge, I'm not going to say names here, and I'm not even going to say what county, but I knew a judge. My friend had a court case, and he was sentencing my friend with a DUI ankle monitor on.
Wow.
A DUI ankle monitor. He got literally charged with a DUI, convicted of a DUI, didn't get stripped of his being a judge. I mean, it's just.
But you want to sit here
And he didn't
cancel.
get shamed. And yeah, and you want
to cancel Joe Rogan, right? But that's what I'm saying. Those people like that are the people who we really should be holding to a higher standard.
Absolutely,
like,
especially
because they are literally paid by the government to have some sort of actual power, to have ruling over certain things, to have power over other human beings
above the law.
So again, like we sit here and we kill celebrities because they made a little bit of money and because they're popular, but we say nothing when, you know.
And that's wrong. And I think that it has a lot to do with people idolizing, people vicariously living their lives through these people that they're putting on a pedestal.
Absolutely.
Because obviously you're not vicariously living your life through a judge
Nope.
or through a police officer or through a politician or a governor or the president, because nobody wants his fucking job right now.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Well, except for me. Can I sue for president?
Vote now. But no, seriously, man, I think that's just absolutely ridiculous.
No
Sincerely.
doubt about it. No doubt about it. I mean, just to say my last little point on it. Again, people. If you made a mistake, and we all said you're done, you can't work anymore. That's literally like let's think about what we're telling people. You cannot, this field that you've worked hard to put yourself into, you can't even work in this field no more because you made a mistake. That's what we doing? That don't make no sense.
And what if that was applied to everybody too? You know what I mean? It's just
What?
I think cancel culture would immediately come to a halt.
Immediately
if
come to
something
an
happened
end.
like that.
If I could pull up to your job and was just like, hey, oh, I heard you say like fuck me, so like yeah, you know, we're done here.
You're done.
You're done.
You're
bro.
done. You
It's
put your 15
over
years
with.
in. You don't even get a retirement plan at this
You're
point.
done. Yeah, you don't even. You're done. Bye. Go home. You've been promoted to customer.
Made the point perfectly, though. I don't think that there should ever be a shame-based thinking. And of course, when we grew up when we were younger, shame on you.
Yeah.
Shame on me. Shame on this. Shame on that. You did something wrong. Shame on you.
Right.
But it was just a saying, and now it's turned into a reality.
Absolutely.
Where we're literally going to shame base.
Well, you know what? I don't know if it actually was just a saying because
At least that's how I felt when I was a kid.
Well, yeah,
you say
as a
shame
kid-
on me, whatever, fuck you. You
But
know
yeah,
what I mean?
but think about this though, right? Like back in the day. So this is something like my grandmother told me. I didn't even know this shit. So like when she was a kid, and this is probably the 60s or whatever, 70s, right? So she's
probably a little bit.
earlier, but
Yeah,
somewhere around.
My
there.
dad was born 54, so put that in perspective.
so somewhere
56,
around then.
56.
So she was basically saying that like when a girl would get pregnant and she wasn't married, like her family would like kind of like send her away for a little bit. Like they send her ass to fucking their family and like in the South. And then obviously she come back with a baby because it was so shameful if you didn't have a fucking husband and shit. And I was just thinking about some shit like that, and I was like, damn, really? People have been shaming this whole life.
But that's
I
feel like that's a little different in this, and not different in the aspect of obviously it still goes into shame,
right?
But different in the aspect of okay, those were different times,
Absolutely.
So things were perceived differently,
Mm-hmm.
and now that we've kind of come to a better understanding of those things, and we are approaching new objectives,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like I don't know. I don't think that anybody should be shamed for anything.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
I mean, if you're gonna commit a crime, and that's obviously a little different. If you're gonna commit a crime,
yeah,
you're gonna go through the judicial system. You're probably not gonna be treated fairly, but you're gonna go through the judicial system, and you're going to pay for that. Period.
Absolutely.
So what right do we have to sit there and shame these people for it?
None at all.
You know what I mean?
Because honestly,
Because I don't
they
think
paid their debt to society.
I don't think that people in your grandmother's age, especially when people, I mean, all you did is you grew up, you went to school, you got a job, and women usually didn't even get a job. The
Yeah.
men went to the military or got a job, and you had kids at a young age.
Yeah.
That was the stigma back then.
God damn, that
You know
sounds
what
like
I'm
a
saying?
fucking shitty life.
16, 17 years old, and then you're, I mean, kudos to your grandma.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Kudos to my grandparents. You know what I mean? To have to deal with that. But that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's
Shit.
not like they committed a crime at that point.
I see why Grandpa liked the hooch, man.
I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying, when it really comes down to
Fucking
it,
shit.
I don't think in any regard there should be a shame-based thinking behind
about it.
anything. I think that needs to be completely fucking cut out, because at this point, how many people are shamed that are clinically depressed?
Yeah.
How many people are shamed that are drug addicts?
Do you
how
know?
many people,
Oh, man.
No. But how many people are shamed that are alcoholics? And let's take away drugs and alcohol. Even the sense of, I stole a hamster when I was in 3rd grade. You know whoever? I stole a hamster, the class pet hamster, when I was in 3rd grade. I'm fucking serious, bro. I stole the hamster. I was a big animal person. I said, you know what? I decided I was gonna take this hamster home. My parents caught me. Okay, they said, you don't have a fucking hamster. Why are you putting hamster food in the cart when we were at the store? This is true. They made me go back into the classroom, apologize to the teacher, apologize to the students because fucking Hammy was gone for the weekend. And when it comes down to it, bro, I was shamed for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was shamed for that. And what I'm saying is that goes back. I mean, it's ridiculous, because
know
then
what?
everybody knew me as the fucking kid that stole the class
Stole the
hamster,
fucking hamster.
for the rest of my fucking life, bro. and when it really brings it back to full circle is that you're gonna tell me that a shame-based way of thinking
Mm-hmm.
is not leading into all these suicides.
Oh, well,
leading into people being clinically depressed.
no doubt about it.
You know what I mean? It's
Well,
like,
well, because the shaming, you get shamed by society, and then you start to shame yourself. You start to
Exactly,
shame
and
yourself,
then there goes
it's
the self-talk.
depression, and now it's depression. Now it's anxiety, because every action that I do, I'm so anxious. How is this perceived by other people? No doubt about it.
and now you feel like you need to be put on medication
Mm-hmm.
or somebody. I mean, I feel like you take that stigma away, a long list of problems could potentially get solved.
So here's something crazy, right? So it starts even like in the home and shit, right? Because, and thankfully I had cool parents who were like not like this, but a lot of my friends who are African American would say that, like, when they would say I'm depressed to their parents or something like that, or I'm just mentally not there, they'd be like, well, pray. And it's just like,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that prayer is not
Yeah.
a thing. Like, yeah, pray is good. That's good. If you get close to God, if that's what you're into,
Right.
absolutely, I love it. But at the same time, it's like, but your child is sitting here
Begging for help.
asking you,
Yeah.
can you please help me? And you're sitting there, oh, well, I don't believe in depression. That's just demonic. You know, people would say that type
Yeah.
of shit to their kids. And then they wonder why their children grow up and they're just so fucking stressed out about life and
Well,
depressed and
yeah.
on drugs and shit. That's how that shit happens, because as parents, some parents don't sit there and like be there for their kids. And honestly, that's why, shout out to mom and pops. That's why, like, I'm so grateful in the way that I came up, because I was able to approach my parents, and not a lot of people have that. Like, the fact that I have such a I talk to my mom and dad damn near every day, if not every day, like a couple times a week. You know what I mean? Because I was able to have a good relationship with them where they allowed me to come to them about shit. And that's how I want, and when I do have kids, that's how I want to approach my kids, because having that was important. That shit was so important, bro, because when I could have went other ways, when I could have started doing other shit, I just thought about it like, damn, these people are rooting for me. My pops, every time, I'm your biggest fan. Every time I tell him I want to do some shit, he's behind me. Same thing with my OG. You know what I mean? So it's just like that built me to be the person I was. And even still, I still damn near fucked up in a couple of ways where I could have did other things, but just having that backbone. So for people that don't even have that shit, it's fucked. You're damn near fucked from jump.
Yeah, absolutely. And you brought a great point. Shout out to my dad for always believing in me too. Never, never, ever, ever put a shame-based thinking in my head and
Absolutely.
made me believe things that weren't true. He always had my back, and we both know that in most situations he probably shouldn't have.
Yeah.
So definitely, and
But he's a real one, and
that's coming from the
that's
heart.
that's what parenting really is. Is truly just being there for your kids, because that's what we care about more than everything else y'all do. Is really when we can approach you all, and y'all are always there for us, always in our corner and shit.
But that goes into talking about with how we're talking about how it's a cycle.
Mm-hmm.
It's an absolute cycle because a dose of reality. It's an absolute cycle because I mean, with that shame-based thinking and what we were talking about, how things it's normal to see a child misbehaving in a store.
Absolutely.
So, but what stems from that? And people ask the question, why is this happening? Why are kids progressively getting worse? And it's because parents aren't parenting kids.
Nope.
They're growing up, they're having kids, they're parenting those kids incorrectly. They're growing up, parenting those kids when they have kids. And I'm sure, they're repeating the cycle at a younger age.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's just and then it's one big fucking cycle, dude.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
It's just it's just crazy to me. And then people ask the question of why is society getting worse?
Because we are not parenting anymore. We have forgotten.
Especially when you talk about discretion,
Mhm.
because of how easy it is to access certain things. Bro, when I was a kid, you were not able to just look up porn.
Yeah.
You would have to go to
absolutely
a 7-Eleven. You'd have to go to a corner store. Maybe Dave still has it. Bro, and find a little nudie magazine. And we weren't even able to buy it when we were that
You
age.
had to sneak in the freaking store
Or-
and just
or-
flip through that
But
motherfucker.
that's what I'm saying, man. It's just like as things become more accessible, you need to have discretion towards your kids. That follows into parenting.
Or
I mean,
everybody's dad had a little box.
but you
under
know
the
what I'm saying,
bed.
man? It's just crazy. It's crazy to think about. I mean, and not only that, I mean, when I was a kid, I'll share another story. When I was a kid, things were always like covered up. Things were always not explained to me correctly. I was never explained like sex, especially. You know what I mean? And the story that goes into it is a perfect example. I'm sitting there in the back of the car. My mom's driving. We're driving behind a garbage truck, bro.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, a dildo flies out of the fucking garbage truck and hits our windshield. My mom turns around right away and says, "Don't worry, honey, it was just a bug." Bro, I'm still trying to figure out how that bug got off the ground with that huge cock. I'm not fucking understanding. There's no way. That was the biggest dildo I've ever seen, bro. I'm serious. I'm so fucking serious. But that's what I'm talking about, bro.
Shit.
Things are not being explained correctly.
No,
you know what
we
I mean?
don't- you
Things
don't
are not
tell
being
our-
explained at all.
And you know what? The sad thing is, and just to close it out, like, people think that children are stupid.
And they're
we're
absolutely not. No.
We're not.
They're
Like,
probably
children
more
are not.
progressive now than they've ever been.
Absolutely. So, I mean, truthfully, you got to be honest, with your children and with everything, and truthfully be in their corner and not sit there and try to, grow them up in a shame-based
Right.
way.
Right, and then because then that stems off, and then that continues, and then the
Absolutely.
cycle perpetuates.
Yeah.
So, just to end on that, that was a great session.
1000%. One thing, I have one.
Okay, go ahead.
special thing. Yeah, we just locked up mans for 4 years. We own you. We still own you.
Funny as hell.
That's all I gotta say.
I appreciate everybody for tuning in, listening, subscribing, liking, doing the whole nine. We appreciate all of you. We love you all. We really hope that you got something from A Dose of Reality, and we really hope that you wake up tomorrow and maybe change your perception a little bit.
Absolutely. Just letting you know, music video out now. Kid ISO. The song is produced by G Money. The video was shot by G Money, and it's called ISO's Finally Home. Go check that out. Go get that. It's out on YouTube right now. Go search that and show us some love for sure.
Definitely, definitely. And I just wanted to let everybody know I'm gonna have a vlog coming out. You're gonna see me, myself. You're gonna see one of my best friends, Kid ISO. G Money is probably going to be in it as well, and most of it, and a lot of it's going to be shot by our good friend Aiden.
Shout out Aiden.
The vlog's going to be called the Midwest Quest. We're just going to be going
Big
around
facts.
doing reviews and just pretty much hitting all the key spots in the city and around the area where people, if they haven't been there before, can check it out now.
And don't forget to tune in on Thursday to Northside Plugged.
Absolutely.
Your two hosts from A Dose of Reality are going to go bring A Dose of Reality to the North Side, and we going to plug that shit.
Absolutely.
So stay tuned. Be ready. We going crazy. Peace.
Later.